Since we set up our website, stopsmartmeters.org, and there's been a lot of media coverage, we've been hearing from people all over the state who've been experiencing very similar symptoms and been telling us their stories independently. And we thought today we'd give the public and the media an opportunity to hear from some of those people and to hear their stories. You know, we're not saying that smart meters definitely cause health impacts, but enough evidence, including peer-reviewed science that we heard upstairs, testimonials, and many experts are saying that it's very likely. So I'd just like to introduce 3 people who have been hurt by electromagnetic fields and let them tell their stories. First, we have David Wientjes from Woodacre.
Hi, my name is David Wientjes. My wife and I, Barbara, have been electrically sensitive for over a decade. The first symptoms started about 1998. We were living about a half a block from the police station in San Anselmo, and over the time we had been living there, they had put up about 8 transmitters on the roof of the building. And my wife's health started to decline rapidly, and we couldn't figure out what was going on, and I started showing symptoms as well too. And it wasn't until actually Libby Kelly, who spoke at this conference, recommended that we talk to an electrical engineer, and he took a spectrum analyzer, and it was determined that we were in the first bounce of the of the towers on the police station, and we were also in an old house, and we had old wiring, and we were also about a block away from the cell phone towers on the bank at San Anselmo Avenue, which is a commercial section of the city. The symptoms that we came up with first were a slight ringing in the ear, pressure in the head. It then became worse because the ringing became worse. We started to sleep poorly. We were suffering from nosebleeds and all the symptoms that you read about with electrical sensitivity. But the worst symptoms of all was lack of sleep, and we would be woken up at 3 in the morning with severe ringing in the ear, and we would have to get into our car and drive away and out of the cell phone or out of the field just to find some sleep. So I work in commercial real estate, I work downtown, I'm in the fields all the time, but what I need is a sanctuary, and the sanctuary is is my home, and it's a sanctuary where I can sleep, and my wife and I can sleep, and so we can heal, our cells can heal. And why I'm really coming out aggressively against this, especially with the smart meters, is that they're going to put a wireless device on our house, and our house is our sanctuary. It's the only place where we can get away from the field. So that's why we're absolutely against it, and we want to come out and let the public know that this is a health issue and it's affecting us personally in our lives.
I was just informed a few weeks ago through my own investigation that San Clemente is going to be receiving its smart meters or deploying the smart meters in January of 2011. They hope to complete their task by March or April. San Diego County, as you probably know, have already received about 100, what is it, 100, or is it 1,300,000 meters? I fled Idaho because I was harmed tremendously. I'm altered for life. I don't think that I'll be the same. I've studied and studied for the last 21 months to try to figure out what happened to me and my husband. The utility companies weren't helpful. They dodged the issue. They hid the report from us. They refused to give it to us, as well as the other utility companies. The sheriffs in Idaho laughed at us. On top of that, while this was happening, our house was shot into by our neighbors. And so we couldn't discern, where's this effect coming from? Is it from our neighbors trying to run us off? Well, what is this? It wasn't until I read Josh's website that I started putting 2 to 2 together and started looking through all my data that I gathered. My background is a paralegal, so I love to collect information and document it because I knew that was my only way to bring the truth to light. And I was looking through my videos, and I remembered that we had we had started taking video of our electric box, trying to figure out where this was, and we were using a certain kind of equipment, and we were picking up a Morse code type teletype signal. And when I froze it, I realized I was looking at a smart meter. And I went, that's it, and I cried, and I got on my knees. I said, thank you, God, thank you, God. I've been searching for the answer. What happened to me? And when I found out that San Clemente is going to try to do the same thing to me again, I said, I need to take action. My symptoms are horrible. I hate to put them out there because I haven't filed a claim with the Vista, but I can tell you some typical symptoms that other people have too. There's the insomnia. There's the burns, the rashes on your face, the tinnitus in your ears that never stops. You wake up with it. You go to sleep with it if you can. There's the heart palpitations and the crushing of the chest. There's diarrhea. There's the electric shocks in your body that just randomly come. My biggest torment, besides losing my ability to articulate, find my words and communicate with people, is that I've lost my ability to work in an office. I'm a paralegal. I cannot be around all the equipment that's in offices these days. I don't find many sympathetic employers. I have people that look at me and think I'm ridiculous. What am I supposed to do? I have a home I can't live in. I have a career I can't use. All I can do is take this information and say, don't let this happen to you, your family, or your children. This is a horrible nightmare. You just sit there, you vibrate. I can't walk past a cell phone without my ears swelling up and getting tones in them so bad. Every safe place I find to go and rest, all of a sudden, within a short period of time, will have an antenna or some other kind of strong electromagnetic device that harms me. I have nowhere to go. I have nowhere to go, and all I can do is tell people we have to fight this. This is not something that every community in the United States is able to handle. They will not be able to handle the consequences, the health ramifications. Landlords will lose their tenants, they'll flee. How are they going to pay that mortgage? Homeowners will leave their homes. How are they going to pay that mortgage? People will stop wanting to go to certain cities. How are they going to conduct business? This is horrible. I'm not saying everybody's going to have the same effect and most dramatic effects as I've had, but I know that children are very susceptible. Radiation enters their brains so much easier than adults. It passes through their skull. Children are developing. You don't want to interfere with it. This stuff is evil. That's all I can say. It's evil. The only people who are benefiting are the utility companies and the medical industry. That's all I can fathom from my small, humble opinion, is that this really serves no other purpose than to line the pockets of the utility companies and the medical industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy, for being brave enough to share your story, and we really appreciate it. And I just wanted to clarify, just for the record, that like it's your belief that you weren't suffering any symptoms of electro-hypersensitivity prior to this smart meter being installed on your house in Idaho.
That's right.
Like 2 years ago.
That's right.
That kicked it off.
That's right. I didn't have any health concerns other than like minor allergies to dust. You know, I mean, really, I was healthy, and now I'm not, and I'm really afraid to find out what kind of things are going on in my head, in my ears, my nerves, my heart. I'm concerned about my heart. I have strange feelings in my body in different places all the time, and I don't know what it is.
Thank you so much.
I became electrically sensitive in 2003, and I was at that point already sick with electrical sensitivity, and I was trying to heal from it in a space that I didn't know would have a numerous amount of cell phone towers going up around it, 6 to 8 cell phone towers surrounding my house within a year, which I didn't know that the palm tree outside of my bedroom window was in fact a cell tower. in addition to other factors of dirty electricity and high body voltage and sleeping close to a transformer that was outside my bedroom, I became extremely electrically sensitive to the point I couldn't lay down at night. I had fireworks all over my body, and then it became 24/7. I had nosebleeds. I spit up blood every morning. I had to sleep in various areas where I could not feel fireworks all over my body, and then it became 24/7 fireworks all over my body when I was in my home. So I had to go live out in the country, and then eventually on the beach where there was no triggers for me. And it's such a difficult condition because it's another invisible element, like the pesticide fight has been for so many years. It's invisible. You can't see it, and it becomes an invisible argument, and the test subjects are people that are victims. And at first you don't even understand your own symptoms. And what is so scary about this is that there are so many people that don't have a previous medical condition that are getting sick from the hasty, unresponsible, premature deployment of a wireless technology like that of the smart meter. And it really concerns me for myself, the deployment of the smart meters. And it also, yeah. Tell me when. And where was I?
You're concerned for yourself.
I'm concerned for myself because it's going to change my home environment. I've learned how to manage my home environment to where I choose not to have a router, I choose not to have a cordless phone, I choose not to use wireless or a cell phone, and I can control my haven, which gives me the resilience to be able to manage in the outside world where there is a lot of that element going on. Even though that is difficult in itself, I can't go to libraries, I can't go to cafes. And if I do, it's very quickly. And so what's going to happen when a smart meter is placed on my home, and despite my efforts to control my haven environment, I'm not able to be there either? Does that mean I have to go camp again? Does that mean I have to go live on the beach again? Where I can live in a space where I'm not bombarded by these frequencies that do have physiological impact? And so I'm concerned about this, not just for myself, but for other people. People that are otherwise healthy at this point, they're getting sick. And the vulnerable are getting worse. So I am very concerned, and there is an unfortunate deployment of unregulated wireless technologies being deployed. The regulations are outdated. Simply stated, they're outdated. And it's time to stop and pause, have a moratorium, and recheck the methods that are being rolled out.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you to all the three of our electro-hypersensitive people for being brave enough to share their stories. And you know, I just want to wrap up by saying that William Devereaux, who was the senior director of PG&E's smart meter program, was caught last week falsifying his identity, trying to sneak into a group discussing these kinds of health impacts. That should be evidence enough that PG&E knows that they have a serious problem on their hands. And if the Public Utilities Commission, whose job it is to protect the health and safety of the people of California, fail to put in a moratorium pending health hearings at the state level, then they will be guilty of negligence, and we will need to take further action on this. So that's it.